What's up, everybody? This is Alex Winking Michael, and here's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, we're going to talk about Google Stadia. Why wouldn't we? As you probably have already heard by now, amongst the other hundreds of thousands of YouTube videos and everybody talking about this, Google Stadia was announced today at GDC 2019, and it sounds incredible. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details because I'm sure everybody has seen everything there is. I will tell you, though, if you haven't seen the announcement of it, look it up. It's worth 45 minutes to an hour of your time. I promise you, what they are saying about this platform is incredible. Google Stadia is a gaming streaming platform. There is no console box. There's none of that. Basically, you can play your games on any device at any time you want. Pick up and play. Play on one device, your data's right there. Move on to the next device, boom, you pop it back up, your data's there. So they displayed this with Assassin's Creed in the video. It's incredible. It goes from a PC, laptop, tablet, phone, all the way across. No problems, no issues. How is this done? Of course, it's done through cloud computing. Google obviously has a robust database of servers and incredible technology as far as hardware goes. So that's how this is able to be accomplished, through using their hardware as opposed to your own. They're guaranteeing at least 4K, 60 FPS right out of the gate, going up to 8K, 120 FPS in the future. So that's incredible. When does Google Stadia come out? We don't know. They said sometime in 2019. The platform's set to launch in 2019. There are still several questions around it, and we will reference the articles in this video that I talked to. I'm only going to show one article, though, because like I said, everybody's kind of heard everything there is to hear about this. But I want to offer a couple of takes of my own, being a business person and in a price-driven industry. I have some ideas and thoughts on what I think Google's going to do, because there's been a ton of questions on what they're going to charge for it. How are they going to roll this out? And I think I can answer some of those questions without really fully knowing what Google's going to do, but I do believe that there would be hurdles for certain paths if they wanted to take those. But I'll get into those in a minute. As far as Stadia goes, as far as a breakdown, we didn't get a lot of details on a few things. There's a lot of questions surrounding latency issues as far as, internet type. What are we going to see on the user end that's going to prohibit us from using this platform effectively? And I think there's going to be a lot of hurdles and challenges that you're going to have to get through to use this platform. It's going to be incredibly challenging for Google to get through some of this, especially people with bad internet. I mean, bad internet is going to be a killer for this. So console owners, do not panic yet. This is going to be a long, slow death for you, if at all. Sony and Microsoft will not give up without a fight. They have a ton of resources themselves. They're going to do some things to keep excitement based around their consoles. I can assure you of that. It was awful short-sighted for, heck, even I said, how's Google going to do this without a console? Well, they did it. They don't need a console. They just need a platform. And then now that they've obviously got cloud computing figured out, they don't need any consoles or anything. So let's jump into the article. I'm going to just the one article today. We're going to jump into this. And it's just via Polygon, and there's hundreds and thousands of articles out for this already. But I like this one because it has 4 big questions we still have about Google Stadia. Lofty promises sound good, and I actually agree with this. This is going to be somewhat of a challenge for Google to pull off for a lot of reasons. And they really came in swinging. This was an incredibly well done, well put together presentation of this. They really are trying to redefine how we play games. But I really think when you peel back the layers of the onion, it's going to be very similar. The only difference is you'll be able to play AAA titles on your phone, which is pretty interesting. But let's get into the article. Here's the big question of the moment is, what will Google Stadia cost? And this is where I feel like I can provide you with a little bit of insight. Because really and truly, the only thing that Google can really charge for is the cloud computing aspect of it. Meaning us using their hardware to play the games at these incredible frame rates, incredible graphics on any device that we own. Because we're using their hardware, not our own. So the only thing that I feel like they could charge for without stepping on toes would be that service. Other than that, though, the smart move for Google is to make this free and to use their storefront of Stadia to push traffic to purchase games through Stadia. So what I envision Stadia being is like a Steam, essentially. It's only a Steam, but it's got tons of features. I mean, guys, just a quick breakdown here. I mean, we're talking switch from devices, full YouTube integration. You have to watch the video. There's so much to it that this thing is going to do. It actually is synced up with Google Assistant, so if you're playing a game, you get stuck, you can say, hey, Google, there's a button on the controller, which they have a controller for it, but the button you press and say, hey, I need help. Google Assistant syncs up with the game, says, oh, I know where you're at, pops up a YouTube video on how you get out of whatever issue you're having with the game. I mean, there's so many features and integrations for this. When people stream with Stadia, you can actually jump in and out of people's games much easier than a traditional console or PC. There's a lot of good features to this thing. But the main glaring question is, what will it cost? We'll just read what she says here. Everything about Stadia upends the way games are traditionally bought and sold. Well, it may not, but we'll continue. If you stream what you play, do you own the games or rent them? If you're not buying any hardware, do you pay for a service? Will it be more of a subscription or a one-time fee sort of deal? What's the price point for the controller? Now, they have a very nice controller, but it looks just kind of like a PS4 controller, a cross between a PS4 and Xbox One controller. What happens to Stadia games after developers stop supporting it? We don't know anything about the economics of Stadia right now. We just know the streaming service will release later this year. For comparison's sake, Game Pass, a Microsoft subscription service that gives you access to dozens of game titles, costs $9.99 a month, though you do need special hardware to enjoy it. Will Stadia's price point be competitive to that? I don't think so, no. I think that if they have two routes they can go with this. They can do it like Game Pass and PlayStation Now, where they build a library of older games and you pay a monthly fee and you can stream any one of those games you want. I don't think that's the method that you want to go with. That's not the direction you want to go in. Because what you're doing is you're cutting yourself off from AAA titles. Now, one thing they did announce is that Stadia has its own in-house game development studio now. But I don't know. I mean, if you can charge for the cloud computing aspect, but I really think the goal here would be to push the titles through the Stadia store. So essentially, you're buying them on a platform that is supported on every device, as opposed to charging a monthly fee. Because my thought is this, like, let's say you've got EA, and they've got the new AAA Battlefield that they've sunk $100 million into developing, and then Google's going to come about, or Stadia comes about and says, oh, by the way, we're charging $20 a month, and we want this game on our platform. Well, I can't imagine under any circumstance that EA is going to leave that money on the table. So it makes more sense for Stadia to have its own storefront to push these titles through, that you would purchase the title, still own the title on Stadia, much like you own the title on Steam, and you can play it anytime you want on Stadia, but you stream it across all the devices using Google's hardware. Which, by the way, Google's hardware is more powerful than the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch combined. And it obviously has the opportunity to get even more powerful. It basically never ages because Google changes it out on their end. They update their own hardware, which in turn the consumer gets to update their hardware. So again, this is an incredible leap in technology, an incredible leap in gaming. There's no doubt about it. But how they present this platform and sell the games is going to be the big question. This article goes into a lot of different things. What games will be on Stadia? We don't know. We know they sent out hundreds of development copies of the platform to main developers. One thing they did say was Doom Eternal will be on it. Something by Tequila Works. So there's a few titles coming up. They said that more information will be available in summer. I would assume we're going to see a holiday release for the platform, but we'll kind of have to see how that goes. And so in summary here, I really think that Stadia will be a storefront presented platform that allows you to purchase games and then you can use Stadia stuff. I mean that would give it, basically that would make it the most valuable platform of its kind. It really kind of takes consoles out of the mix. It takes all the Game Pass and all the PlayStation Now, and it really kind of just kills Steam to some extent. Slowly, though. I mean, this is not going to catch fire overnight, I don't think. I mean, there's a lot of excitement and buzz about it now, but I don't think that that's going to sustain, because it was hilarious because, like, when they were announcing this thing, people were like, oh my gosh, I'm burning my console, forget this thing. And then it was like an hour later after the high wears off, everybody's like, wait a minute. What is this going to cost? Wait, how is this going to work? Wait, how do I stop, lag and latency issues and all these other issues that could come about? So a lot of questions have been asked, and a lot of people are starting to realize Google didn't really address any of those. But I am really excited to hear what you think. Let me know what you think of Stadia. Is this going to be the console killer, the new way we play games? Is this going to take over everything gaming related? Or is this going to be a dud? Because there is a very good possibility that it is. And I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And thank you all so much for the support. I sincerely appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you guys on the next one.